Well, welcome back, everybody. I think we're back. Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, sure.
Of course, it always helps when I bring up my notes. So, where we last left off.
Session 13. Lucky session 13.
No, session 11. The one shots don't count. Those are separate.
Yeah.
I was going to say, am I counting wrong? Thank good.
The team having taken some opportunity to prepare for the auction. Of course, after securing their new shop down in the market by the Faded Bridge and helping their friend Karina recover from her journey down towards the tombs in an effort to catch somebody who was harvesting a rare element that was being used in alchemy supplies. The team managed to save both the Traumaton, Forn, and Karina, although some would argue that a Traumaton probably saved Karina and Forn. The rest of the team just happened to come across, a Traumaton struggling to bring up the two corpses. I mean, the two friends that needed help.
It wasn't any struggle there. That was rage climbing.
But the team then decided to focus on the auction house. And here they made their way up towards the upper portions of the Lantern Spire. But in preparation, Forn had taken an overwatch position to keep an eye on the auction house, as well as be available to his friends if they needed him. Here, during the auction house of the Greymakers, they discovered a plot was unfurling, an attempt to steal the painting by Bragsworth that was being offered up for auction for an extreme amount of gold. However, it was interfered with, stopped. The painting was broken, and a gateway was unleashed, allowing a Fey dragon known as a Shimmerling to make its way into the material plane, where it was eventually defeated, not before quite a few people in the auction hall, as well as some of the team members taking a bit of damage or coming close to taking quite a bit of damage. But the team managed to extricate themselves and not be the focus of any potential investigation. However, the team kind of went separate ways in an effort to solve individual problems. The Traumaton finding the arcane or the Tinkerer's toolbox, took it back to the oil pot, and I believe I believe everyone else headed back to the shop to settle in for the night at some point. Or no, Karina stayed behind in the auction house just in time to see a small group of people arrive with an individual that went by the name of Crimp. And Karina, for the first time, saw another version of a Traumaton that was being utilized by this artificer, while the dragon was slowly being dismembered and pulled apart to be carried off. Of course, Karina is currently disguised as a warden captain of the Lantern Spire while watching this happen. Traumaton delivered the tools, and I believe everybody else went back to the shop location. Technically, we haven't taken a long rest yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know Karina's still out and about, and a Traumaton is still technically out and about, while the three of you have settled into your long rest.
I mean, I'm in Sentry's Rest outside of the oil pot, so I'm actively.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did go into a Sentry's Rest.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
So I'm just shut down in front of this storefront.
This is true. Karina, it is getting late. You're kind of watching as this how should we say, individual is guiding all of these. Well, give me an insight. Give me an insight check while you're watching this happen, if you would, please.
That's a nat 1.
Ooh.
+4, so 5.
5. the delicate nature and the way that they're handling the remains of the creature, you're watching them package it up. In less than an hour of watching them do this, there's not much left of the creature. Its bones have been harvested, its skin, its flesh, its organs, and they're all being neatly packed into leather containers, as well as like very large wooden crates. Crimp sees you watching, and as his team is wrapping up their work. Well, Captain, I can assure you, we are done. Thank you for watching over us. Much appreciated.
Of course. Gonna give an, respectful bow and walk away.
You watch as Crimp leaves the auction house with the others that had harvested all of the remains of the Shimmerling. Where are you heading off to, Karina?
I look for a bush where I can turn into a Kawaka without anybody noticing. Which, for the record, the Kawaka is the eagles from Lord of the Rings, so it is on theme.
We go.
And then I go back home with all my ill-gotten goods.
Okay. You find a nearby bit of cover in the garden, which is still reasonably busy with survivors being helped, those that died in the attack being carted off to be part of the funeral pyre that will eventually take place down below. However, as you're sitting there in transformation and you shift into your eagle mode, you watch as a very large brass dragon kind of lands in the garden space in front of the auction house. You then watch as it transforms into Jamansa Ord. You then watch as Jamansa Ord goes over to one of the warden captains that was overseeing the evacuation and the rescue of some of the people in front of the auction house. You're not close enough to hear what's being said, but they're in a pretty deep conversation. And then you watch as Jamansa Ord walks up the long stairs into the interior of the auction house.
Man, okay, well, I'm gonna let people vote. Should I follow him and die, or should I go back home?
That
If
seems
only we
like
were
it's in
on
your
like a
nature.
stream and you could just ask the stream to answer for you.
No, because they want to see me die at this point. Okay.
I think Jamansa Ord's like a pretty heavy hitter, I think, is the vibe we've gotten. Like, he's really, really, a really, really big
Jamansa
deal.
Ord is considered they, them, I believe.
Oh, they are considered a very heavy hitter.
They also haven't tried to kill us yet, so.
The thing is,
I mean,
I did
sneaking
send
around
them.
might make them get scared, right? But
I did send them a message earlier with the animal thing.
Yeah. if
But
the
I don't
bird
know.
found them,
I need a long rest. I can't keep doing this. I'm going home.
Yeah, it catches your interest, but you fly up in the air, you circle out and over and down towards the new shop that you guys procured. You settle on one of the verandas. The question is, somebody was still out on the veranda, right? Was that Melody?
Because
I was on the
and
veranda
Thorn were
back
pissed
home.
drunk. Well,
Yeah.
Thorn was pissed drunk, but
Melody, you were still on the veranda at that point, correct?
Yeah, I was hanging out on the veranda at our
Because
place.
Eritrea went off to bed. Born, did you ever stumble home yet, or are you still out there pissed drunk somewhere?
unless Eritrea dragged me home,
I would.
last thing I downed another bottle, turned around, and just on the
That's
on the
right. They
floor of
put
the
you.
bar,
They put
so.
you on the drunk bench.
Yep.
Eritrea wouldn't Brian, would Eritrea leave him in the bar, or would you take him home?
I probably would have tried to take him home.
Okay.
But
So we'll say
I can't remember. Did I say you take care of yourself and left on my own?
I don't think that. I think once he fell asleep, that was the end of the
Okay.
scene.
Yeah, I would have tried to get him home.
So we'll say Forn is up in his room asleep. Trios, you're in your room asleep as well. Although they're not fancy digs yet. I mean, it's just your bedroll on a wooden floor with, the basics. Melody, you're on the veranda watching the below marketplace, kind of the nightlife by the Fates Bridge. A very large eagle lands on the veranda.
Baka!
Nice eagle. Nice eagle.
I just almost spit out my soda. There we go.
Okay, I walk inside and then I turn back to my Corina form.
Ah! I guess that actually makes sense.
Yes, all this time, this mysterious bird-like creature that's been following you was me.
This actually clears up a lot because I wondered where that bird friend had gone.
I'm sorry to disappoint.
Where have you been?
I tell them like everything I've seen.
Yeah, Melody's the only one awake.
Oh, I tell Melody everything I've seen, I guess.
Okay. So during Karina's whole time up at the auction house, after all the events that took place, she tells you the story of the Artificer Crimp, another kind of functional version of a Traumaton that was doing a lot of heavy lifting and but minus the dent in the head for obvious reasons. The disassembly of the Shimmerling, it being packed and carted off, seemed to be very purposely done. That must be the Chandei Quorum calling her right now.
Sorry about that.
No worries. But yeah, everything that Karina's learned since being up in the auction house aftermath, she kind of takes about 10, 15 minutes to get you up to speed.
So I think I actually don't know if we know about Crimp because I don't know if Trauma told us or not.
Good point.
So I guess I'm just like, wow, that seems really weird. Someone's harvesting Shimmerling body parts.
And Trauma has a twin brother.
Yeah, and someone maybe we should tell Trauma about this. That Trauma has a twin. Did you get kind of fishy vibes from them? Like, did they seem like good guys or bad guys? Did it seem like what they were doing was illicit?
Well, I think the only thing that kind of struck me really is how prepared they were to disassemble the creature, especially in light of our suspicions regarding the trade of illegal goods from the Fae.
Like they were already ready to do it.
They had some experience with it for sure.
Yeah, that is concerning.
And the technology is unusual, especially since we haven't really seen others like Trauma before. And the one was different, at least behavior-wise. Like, it did not have Trauma's sparkling personality. And of course, Brass Dragon, you know, as a strange character. I don't know. I mean, he seems to be everywhere, and I don't know how much I trust his allegiances. Which kind of brings me to a question to you. Were you able to ask your sister about any humans that might have been taken to the Fae right before the Fae was closed?
I did ask her what she knew about humans who had disappeared, and to be honest with you, I don't know if she didn't know anything or if she just didn't care to tell me, but I couldn't get much information. It seems like she's been kind of radicalized a little bit or something. I don't know. She's different than how she was, and she couldn't give me any information. Sorry.
No, thank you for asking. So that kind of begs another question. Do we want to open the Fae? I mean, do you have any reason to go there, to get anything out of there?
I've never even thought about it because we left a long time ago when I was super young because of basically political issues I don't know much about. And so I never thought I'd be able to come back, and then the Fae closed, and I just thought, it's done. And I can imagine it would be amazing if the Fae could get back and could have a place to live again, but the creature that came out was like starved and like feral. It just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like I remember the Fae. I just don't know. Whatever's left, I don't know what it looks like, but it doesn't seem like a good place to be.
I see. Okay. Well, certainly we have a lot more to find out. Something is very, very strange.
You're Fae too, right?
We don't need to talk about I mean, in a manner of speaking. Which is the physical one, yes, but still.
It makes you kind of uncomfortable to talk about.
I really appreciate people's understanding so far with a lot of stuff. Truthfully, it probably would be good for us to talk more about our common goals here, because however bizarrely we seem to have all stumbled into each other, I do think we might have a similar objective that might benefit all of us. So I think in a different time, in which we are certain there are no extra ears in the room, and also that everyone is awake, so we don't have to repeat everything we say, we should all consider what we're trying to achieve. And again, I do not take lightly the fact that you guys saved my life. I do consider a life debt meaningful. And I hope whatever is going on in your own family relationships can be resolved. I mean, I can't imagine what you're going through with this.
Yeah. We'll talk about it tomorrow, and we'll go out tomorrow and get some blankets and some pillows and some paint. And that's going to really turn things around, I think.
Okay, yeah, I can't do anything actually because I've always had servants, but I'll be there too.
All right. I would probably head out to bed at this point.
And I go to my rat poop infested room that I'm gonna summon evil, and I'm gonna feed him the dragon's eyeball and see if he can tell me anything about it.
So as Melody, as you head off towards your room, Karina, you head towards your room, and once you close the door and kind of wait for it to quiet down a bit, you go through the process of summoning evil. What is he coming back as this time? The Raven still?
The Raven, yeah.
Okay. He just appears. Hey, mistress. Everything okay? You look distracted.
I kind of fill him in about the fact that the Fae has opened, and I show him the eyeball.
That's silly. I come from the Shadowfell. You know the Fae doesn't exist anymore.
Well, if that's the truth, then, and I reveal the eyeball, you shouldn't be able to eat this.
Clacks his beak a little bit, pecks at it a little bit, and then throws it up in the air, eats it. And
oh, shit. That's a shimmerling. Those only ever existed in the Fae. Is it possible the Fae's still there?
If it is, then our search for Karina might have just been expanded significantly.
Why do you think she's in the Fae?
The creatures I moved with when I was left in her estate used to travel there quite extensively. I have exhausted most resources in Jrusar and in the surrounding areas. If it does exist and there is trade there, it is not beyond... It's another possibility, I guess. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just grasping at straws.
Do we still really care? I mean, clearly that so-called little girl was up to more than what we even know now. I mean, think about all the problems that have come about ever since she took her form, and we're not even sure if she was real.
She was real. I was friends with her. And she is the only thing that matters. Me returning her life to her is the only thing that matters. And we are bound to that until we achieve it in life and beyond. Of course, after it's done, you and your master can, eat my soul or whatever.
Okay. But, I'm... Tell you what I'm gonna do. How about I go look about tonight? I don't need to sit here with you, and unless you have someplace you'd like me to spend the evening.
If you could go to the place where we met the Shimmerling and keep an eye on a certain bronze dragon, I would greatly appreciate it.
Yes, mistress.
You watch it here. It goes out the door and flies away off towards the direction of the upper portion of the Lantern Spire. With that, day 5 comes to a close. Everyone's settled into their long rest. Before long, the noise of the city, the market, and the faded bridge begins to wake everybody up. It's the following morning. Automaton, you're woken up to the sound of somebody using their knuckles on your metal carapace by just...
So, per the lore, Warhorse don't actually sleep. We kind of enter a shutdown mode. So I'm just kind of like... I guess I just kind of look down and stare at them. Just, what do you want?
I need you to get out of my way. I have business to do here.
Joe just kind of like lifts up about a foot and just moves like 3 feet
Thank
to the
you.
side.
No idea when he got this new sentry. Seems overkill for him. The door opens. You can hear the busy interior of a shop with, with the owner kind of busy at work and working on metal devices. There's clinking and clanging, the whirring of chains, and there's bright red flares of light from the interior. And what are you doing? What are you working on? I've got this important... You hear this other voice. Get out. I'm working on something. And then the old lady comes tottering out of the door. Well, he's in a mood. She kind of, just kind of harumps and disappears up the Lantern Spire way into the busy crowd.
Right, no, that was a prop for something. I'm sorry.
No, anything you want to do with Traumaton?
I guess this one, I just had an old lady banging on my casing, so I might as well finish powering up and go back into the oil pot.
Okay. As you go into the oil pot, did we ever decide on the owner's name?
Faber?
I think. That's not it.
What was it, Melody?
Is it Faber?
Faber. Yes, thank you. Phabr.
That was close.
Faber is working on a large metal object. He's using some kind of high-powered burning chemical device. You can see that he's welding, and he kind of pulls his goggles off to turn around and look at you. Ah, Trauma, you're back. No, you never left. That was you asleep in front of my shop, wasn't it?
well, I entered a rest phase, but I don't really sleep. Warforged don't have need of that, but
That's
but
fair, I
literally,
suppose. It's going to take me some time to finish these things that I'm working on for you. I mean, you're more than welcome to wait the next couple days if you'd like, but it's turning out to be quite more challenging than I thought to create these additions for you.
the instant he says it's like welcome to wait, just powers down like right in front of the register.
Oh, for fuck's sake. He's like, he just starts like having to work around you as you remain in the oil pot, hoping to take advantage of when he's done making your gear. The rest of you slowly wake up to the sound of the faded bridge and the markets coming alive. Morning of day 6. What would the rest of you like to do?
I want to make sure Foreign's feeling all right after his night last night.
Oh, bright lights. Come on, shut, shit. Oh,
I understand you're probably not feeling too well right now.
nothing I ain't felt before.
Do you remember our conversation?
About the Shimmerlane?
Yeah, and the Bright Queen.
Yeah, Bright Queen.
I'll give you a few minutes.
Oh, no, I got it. You wouldn't happen to have water, would you?
I'll go grab you some water.
Thank you. As he steps out, I go straight into my trance. And I'm sending a message to the Bright Queen with my talisman. As she's held one, and I'm just sending the message that says, my queen, it appears all is not lost. The Fae may be found. I encountered a Shimmerling last night. It was emaciated. It was in very, very poor condition. Unfortunately, regretfully, I had to put it out of its misery, but I do believe we may have contained the fragments of the magic that was used. If there were chance to meet, perhaps we could sort this out.
About a minute goes.
Roll back in.
Yeah. About a minute goes by, and you feel the beginning of a sending spell start in your mind. Fawn, been a while. I hope the journey that you're on is to your betterment. Shimmerling, you say. Fae, you say. I will contact my agent. Send her directly. Goodbye.
As Air Trio comes back in with the water, I kind of go back to that, like, still hungover phase.
Yeah.
Here you are, sir.
He just splashes it on his face, like on his own. Like he's just like. All right,
That's one way to wake yourself up.
let me try it. And he's over exaggerated this time. You wouldn't need to roll insight to see that he's over exaggerating this, because he's like normally when he does it, he doesn't do anything, but he's like put his hands out in this funny way, and he's like, it's not working. Maybe I'm too hungover. I don't know. Well, maybe we'll wait later in the day.
Well, and I'm like clearly suspicious of him, but I'm not going to press on it too much right now.
Yeah, I mean, he was very badly acting like, oh, this doesn't work right now.
Yeah, and I don't want to push. Be like, well, interesting. Well, Why don't we clean ourselves up, see how everyone else is doing, and do you want to keep this conversation between the two of us?
Well, I don't care.
All
I
right.
figured our friends that are also fey creatures might have some interest in what we discovered, but I am curious as to where our shifty friend went last night. I didn't see her. I do appreciate she got me out, but I don't know what happened after that.
Yeah. Let's
So
see what she's been up to.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
like knocking on the walls, like, "Good morning."
Okay, after complaining for a solid 30 minutes about being woken up, she tells them everything that happened last night.
Only 30 minutes. I thought we could get longer than that. Well,
Well, I'm in a good mood.
making a better mood than my dog, apparently. But
Wait, you have a dog?
oh, you can't hear her through the. No, my actual dog is doing crazy right now because
Oh,
I knocked on the table.
I was like,
on the
when did we
table.
all get a
and she thought
dog?
It was like somebody at the door, and she was like, "Ah!" Sorry.
Aw. So, yeah, yesterday was a lot. Clearly something very strange is happening. I would like to continue to follow this thread for personal reasons that we can all just whatever later. But I think a traumaton might be related to some stuff we don't understand, as far as that kind of strange guy that was there that seemed to be a little too familiar with packaging up a dead fey creature. Can I ask, what is your investment in all this? Why are you following this very clearly dangerous path? Why are you asking questions about the Fae, or going to an event like yesterday, or fighting the Shimmerling, or killing the Shimmerling?
Well, first and foremost, clearly killing the Shimmerling was never. It's a sore subject. It wasn't my purpose, but the creature was suffering, and I couldn't stand to watch it suffer, and I did not have the means with which to heal it. Not only was it suffering from its external wounds when I inadvertently closed whatever gate that was, but also, have you seen a Shimmerling before? I mean, I know you're Fae. Have you seen a Shimmerling before?
I have not seen a Shimmerling before.
That Shimmerling was emaciated. That Shimmerling was in horrible condition. Normally they carry conversation. They're tricky. I mean, as everything in the Fae tends to be, but they're generally good, and they're generally intelligent. They like to talk, sometimes too much. But that one, I don't know. It was feral.
So we just found out that there is an opening to the Fae. Is this a surprise to any of you?
Yes.
Has any of you ever had a reason to believe otherwise, other than, little snippets we've heard in the past few days?
No.
I had no reason to believe that, and you all seem quite frankly shocked by what we witnessed yesterday, and it was alarming to me as well.
Melody, what has your sister gotten into?
I did not think I was here.
Oh, sorry.
We should go get Melody real quick.
I can be here. I'm
Come
here.
here.
Yeah, it's all super weird. It wasn't the way we were raised, but also when I talked to her the other day, she was so high on one of the trashies just really seemed genuinely very excited about her. And I don't understand what happened. It seems like she's just so furiously angry and just thinks it's all a lie and wants to get back to the Fae so bad.
Well, I do still have a talisman out on somebody.
Oh, and I still have this. And I show them the broken pieces of the painting and the frame. Is anybody really good at puzzles?
No, but I have a friend.
Who's really good at puzzles?
No, but I have a friend.
Okay.
I have a friend who would be very, very interested in this.
I'm kind of interested in keeping it for myself, seeing as how it might be a doorway to the Fae. I mean, we're not that far away from finding out those kind of things. Maybe we can get it to somebody who can tell us a little bit more about what goes into making this, where we can find another one, or if we can save this one, restore it just enough to understand what's happening.
I think my friend might be able to give us some insight in that direction.
Can you name your friend?
Who's your friend?
It depends on who shows up. I will tell you when they show up that they are my friend.
Is your friend from Craigslist?
Facebook Marketplace.
And the fourth wall continues to crumble.
I'll know them when I see them, and they're more than likely looking for me. Not in that way, not like yesterday when I. Thank you, by the way, for that. I do appreciate it. It's not fun being arrested every once in a while, because then they try to take down what I am, and they don't understand when I tell them that I'm a Hexblood. They don't know what anything like that means. It just causes trouble.
They're like, just check the box. Are you an elf, a dwarf, or a human? And like,
Right. And you know how difficult it is. Like when they say like multi-species, they don't even give the option to select what species. So everybody thinks I'm a half elf, but I have hair.
Well, lying to law enforcement is one of my favorite hobbies. So anytime. What do we do now? We kind of need to decide what we want to get out of this.
Well, I was saying I do have a talisman out there on somebody else who was involved with what was going on yesterday.
Who is it, though? Because this is really valuable to me. So I don't know if I want to give it to a complete stranger.
No, not for that. I mean, I can contact. I got a call.
Sorry.
I have a way to try and lure this person out into the open where we can perhaps make their acquaintance, because I don't know who they are.
Oh,
but
I see.
I know that they were present. And out of context, you guys should know that it was the person that you held person on.
Oh, that
guy.
But you don't know that it's the guy that I put a talisman on.
I think so.
I could try talking to my sister and see if I can find out anything more about what she knows. I feel like we didn't part on very good terms, but I think she'd still talk to me.
I guess.
I would like to meet this friend of Florence that he references.
Certainly. So, like I said, as soon as they arrive, I will let us know.
I'll see if I can find out more about Bragsworth. If he created this, and it seems like he's created multiple kind of paintings like this.
Anyone else notice a sudden absence of a shiny, annoying, metallic friend?
Yeah, where is Atraumaton? Did he not get here last night?
He said he was going to the oil pot, right? He's gonna drop something off.
Yes.
I can go grab Atraumaton in case he got distracted.
I would be wary of what I find in the oil pot. I'm wary of trauma anyway. It's an odd name for a place. for him to spend such time there. I'm just considering things, This is Jrusar. Anything goes, right?
No worries. I turn into Legolas. People.
No one will bother Legolas.
Oh, you guys are terrible.
It's better than hobbits.
Well, we didn't get to the Hobbit characters yet.
Eritrea, would you be interested in trying to track down this? Well, Melody, you're more than welcome to join as well. I apologize. Would you all be interested in trying to lure out this other individual? I mean, I assume they will be on the run for now, but
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe anything's worth a shot.
Trauma has one of my talismans, but he can't talk back. Is the unfortunate thing. And I don't know that if I told him a place to go that he would bother showing up.
I mean, I have some questions for him, so I wouldn't mind. Also, it would be nice to catch up, get some breakfast together. It's been a rough night. I'll go get Trauma. So now that we have a place, we also need another 500 gold, just as a quick reminder. And also,
We have 29 days to do that.
okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll scratch up.
I was already ticking off the days now.
Okay.
We had 30 days and he's at day 6 and I'm like, all right, that's the first one, so there's 29 left.
Nice. Okay. Well, we probably won't live that long, so it's fine.
Speak for yourself.
So,
Yeah.
Karina, you head off to go track down a Traumaton. What do the three of you do while you wait for her to come back?
I'd like to go do some shopping and get some paint and some pillows and other things to make our house cute.
Okay. Well, Market's down below. I mean, it's all around you. Not too difficult to do. Anybody else joining her, or what else are the rest of you doing?
I'm gonna send a message to the other talisman, because I burned the one on the guy that Trauma broke the foot of, but the other one, the guy that was held personed, I didn't burn that one, so I still have that one, and I was gonna message him and be like, or I'm gonna use the talisman to speak to him and say, wherever you've gone, we're friends of the Fae. If you come down to the Fate Walk Bridge, wear a green hat and we'll seek you out.
Okay. You feel the talisman burn, get consumed.
Well, speaking doesn't consume it. It's just if I actually go look
Connect
through
with it, right?
Yeah, if I do the see and hear part, I can talk through them all day.
Oh, it's only when you
I
do
just
the
can't,
C
just
part.
can't talk about it. It's only when I do the see and hear part that it burns them up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm gonna wait a little bit before I do that, because I'm gonna see if they're actually showing up. If they're not, I'm gonna try and get their surroundings and we'll trace them down.
Okay.
Maybe.
Fair enough.
I actually
Melody's
I feel compelled to go with Melody.
Okay.
I want to talk to her about my interactions with Lauren the night before.
okay.
I'm gonna
Oh,
just look
Good.
at the dragon scales or the shimmerling scales now, while I'm just sitting on the balcony there, thumbing through them.
okay. You watch as Eritrea and Melody disappear into the market by the fated bridge to all the different stalls and shops all over the place. Karina, you're heading back towards the mid-tier of the Lantern Spire, where the spa was and where the Silver Time, Fabian's shop, is. And you're looking for the oil pot, because that's where you last believed that a Traumaton had gone to. You find the oil pot. The door's open. There's a Traumaton in his sentry mode in the middle of the poor guy's shop, just patiently waiting. The guy has to work around him, and he's working on some kind of big hulking metal device that he seems to be like as you come in, he picks up the device, measures it to a Traumaton's body, and then sets it back down, and he's got his hammer out, and he's plying the metal and bending it and adding some gear work to it. Sees you come in. Oh, hello. Sorry, I was so busy. I didn't realize. I've seen you before, I think.
Yes, I have just come up to pick up my friend here. Hey, Trauma.
Oh.
Trauma's head just kind of pops up. You see a little BB-8 arm reach out with a rag and just kind of wipe sweat off of what was his name? I'm sorry.
Faber.
Faber's head.
Oh, God, it's always creepy when he does that. When you watch him, you think he's not really paying attention, but he is. Could you please take your friend home? It's going to take me at least 2 more days to finish his augments.
Oh, sure thing, I guess. Trauma, are you ready to go?
Just kind of turns his head to Korea, just like, it's more efficient if I stay here. I do not understand this insistence on
it's
leaving.
efficient for you, but not me. I keep having to work around him. My shop isn't that big.
Well, Trauma, we have some more work to do elsewhere, so it would maybe be more efficient if you accomplished the work there and then came back here.
All right. He kind of stands up, but I need to make. I don't know if I, as a human, can do this, but just all the the rusted metal of his joints kind of freeing up. It just sounds like the most exasperated "mom's making me clean my room" teenage sigh you've ever heard. Somehow, he just kind of stomps out the door.
It's a robotic.
Yeah. Just didn't know Russ could make that noise, but just he swears he just kind of stands up to his phone like, "God, fine."
Fine, jeez.
That's good, Trauma. Let's go. That's
Thank
gonna be
you, young
fun.
lady. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Not a lady, just an elf. Keep going.
But and you close the door on him when you say that.
That should be the new tagline for everything now.
Just an elf.
No, lady, just an elf.
Well, Legolas does have really beautiful long hair, so. Trauma, can I take you aside for a quick drink? I have a few questions.
Yeah, just turns again. Just how tall is Karina right now?
I'm in my elf form. I'm very tall.
Ooh.
Aww.
Statuesque, even.
Statuesque.
What does that mean for a robot that's almost 8 feet tall?
Not
Put a
much.
number to it.
Not much.
Not much.
Just kind of bends down, just kind of as you wish.
Okay, I look for a place that's fairly hidden where we would look semi-natural.
8 foot
Okay.
tall, rusty warforged. And
As natural as we get.
The lantern spire is a bit of a trick. The crowds are a bit on the upper echelon of society. But the two of you find kind of like a little cloistered garden spot or kind of a mixed park and mixed usage. There's not a lot of these on a lot of the other spires, but on the spires that do better than most, there are the occasional parks or spaces of privacy. You kind of guide a Traumaton to a nearby pond with a little bit of a waterfall going on into it. Lots of strange looking trees and plants. There's other people here, but they're kind of far enough away that they're kind of lost in their own conversation. So you and Trauma are kind of underneath the shade of a tree near the pond at this point.
Trauma, we haven't really spoken about this, but would you mind telling me a little bit about some of your first, I guess memories might be the correct term for you, but let me know if it's not.
Memories is close enough. The earliest ones I have are awakening to some form of employment in this city with my previous owner. I guess it was a establishment that required enforcement of their contracts. I have no memories outside of the last 15 to 20 years. I do not know exactly what happened to them. I know that at a certain point, the signal to them that I was intercepting was interrupted, and I no longer report to them. But that is all I can recall.
Interesting. Do you ever wish you knew anything from before that, or you kind of... I guess this is kind of a tricky question, and excuse me if it's kind of a rude one, but, well, are you fully mechanical or part mechanical?
I'm fully mechanical, and if I knew who had utilized my skills without my... God, sorry, because I'm exhausted IRL. But if I knew who had been using me in such a manner, I would flay them alive. I am not a fan, as some of you would say.
So, like earlier, you kind of acted kind of vaguely like a teenager, and in general, you do seem to possess free will. Is that okay if you... Is this kind of a deep cut for you, or is it okay for me to poke at it?
No, you're fine. I have a very limited concept of teenager. Is this one of those awkward in-between organic children? The ones that are nearly their adult height, but somehow more annoying.
The ones that have a tendency to rebel, one might say.
Just kind of, those are the worst. Oh, man. No, one must always work within the rules. That is the core of my programming. That offends me in the deepest of my registers.
But which rules do you enforce? Like, if you are an
You see kind of
enforcer...
like error codes kind of going on in his eyes.
Oh no, okay, I'm gonna stop. Sorry, I apologize. I asked too many questions. Just out of curiosity, have you seen this man before? And I minor illusion, the guy I saw yesterday.
Do I? Because I don't know that I've ever really... I don't know if we've really ever established if I have any memories of Crim.
You do not recognize him, but you recognize the name because one of your merchant contacts had mentioned him as someone that runs an underground kind of an augment specialist. He works for the Ivory Syndicate. So he'd mentioned him by name, who he worked for, but physically you don't recognize him because you've never seen him before. You just know through hearsay as to who he is. One of your merchant contacts kind of filled you in because you've been eliciting like augments of your own physicality. So that's come up before, but it's not a particular thread that you've pursued yet.
So that's pretty much what I tell creators. Like, I know of this person. I do not know that I have any active memories of them. Should I?
Well, he was accompanied by this, and I minor illusion, the other Warforge, who seemed to be working for him in a maybe more mechanical capacity than you would.
Were there any like numbers or symbols, anything like Traumaton is something that got stenciled onto his chest. It was kind of a nickname that legally distinct from Amazon. But yeah. So that's like his actual designation. He has that, but it's kind of locked behind a security procedure. But that's not a name. So I'm not asking for that. But is there any kind of like similar thing on this unit that would be identifiable that a organic being would notice? Like they're not going to be able to like distinguish.
Not that you remember, Karina. You just remember that it just seemed to follow very simple and basic commands when Crimp was using it to load the heavy equipment or load the heavy containers. There was no real feel that it had that kind of spark of life that a Traumaton has shown.
Did he have like a tiny a tiny one that turned into a big one? Like, was it? That was kind of part of it, right?
Yeah, it enlarged itself.
So, are you able to change your size at all?
I am not. No, that is not one of my abilities.
Okay. I tell him that was able to size. Well, we can keep. So, this is maybe kind of an awkward question to ask a Warforge. But what do you feel is your main objective? What would you like to accomplish?
Eric, hasn't actually thought that far ahead, but yeah.
It's I guess Karina's trying to assess if like Automaton wants to find out more about his past, or if he's very content with the present.
I'm trying to think of how to put this in words, like especially like he would kind of like to find out like the people that employed him, because it wasn't so much demeaning work as it was almost a like a functional living lobotomy. Like they were kind of, the one that he's interested in, the new Warforged that you were talking about, kind of because he feels like that's probably what's going on there. There's a consciousness behind that that's kind of being enslaved, and he's not super thrilled about that. He's an evil being. He doesn't want to go and be like, I need to free all the Warforged, but it's kind of that upsets and offends him in a very, very particular way. So I don't know if that's his end goal, is find the people doing this, but if he came across them, he'd do a violence to them.
Well, I have a feeling we're going to cross paths with this Crimp character again. He might have some answers for you about this. That's all I wanted to know, if that was of interest to you.
Very much so. I thank you. Just there's something about Karina where Trauma kind of like, you're also you give me real evil vibes, unlike the other one. So like, you're cool.
We're the villains. We have to take care of each other. We have to watch each other's back with all those goody two shoes around. Okay.
So as Trauma and Karina head back towards the shop on the Faded Bridge, Eritrea and Melody, you guys are currently amongst the shops and markets of the Faded Bridge. There's some specialty shops. There's some just open market stalls. So far, Melody, you've come across a little bit of what you'd like. So I'll say you've spent about 50 gold already and have accomplished a lot of the domestic stuff that you want, like basic furniture, pillows, drapes, and like part of the problem is they're going to deliver it to the shop, so it's not like you could carry all this around. So feel free to spend that 50 gold on all the little things that you'd want to kind of dress up the shop and the bedrooms. But Eritrea's alongside you as the two of you are kind of just taking the early morning and mid-morning to do all this shopping.
And I'm really like, I think I'm bargain hunting. I'm looking for things that feel unique. There's like we're doing a little bit of thrifting here, and I'm very on mission. Melody's like in her zone now.
I feel like Eritrea's that, boyfriend following her around, just like getting items thrown on him, and he's just carrying all this stuff.
Occasionally,
all you're missing is like the little Pomeranian tucked under
exactly.
her arms. Yeah.
I sometimes ask you your opinion, and then I don't seem to take it.
Or I get like 3 words out, and then you're just like, well, I'm gonna buy it anyway.
Oh.
Does this match my eyes? It'll match someone's eyes.
Yeah.
So I think you've gotten to know our companions a little bit. Foreign is very troubled by what we witnessed yesterday. And I was able to have some interesting conversations with him regarding his connections with the Bright Queen. He had kind of lost all hope on the Fae, and now he sees that there's potentially somewhere to help, but he just seems in denial of what he saw, and that the Fae actually has something worth saving. I pledge to help him however I can, and I think we have to keep an eye on him because I don't think he's being honest with me of all of his motives right now. I don't think it's malicious. I think he's protecting himself because he has a lot of trust issues. But I want to try to get him to share more with us so we can all assist this situation as much as possible.
When I talked to my sister about him, my sister got really bad vibes. But I agree, I didn't get that read from him. I think he's trying really hard to help the Fae. He was going to help me find my sister at very little charge. But I agree, I think he's kind of a softie, but I think he's hiding something too.
What is your opinion on everything that transpired, and how would you like to proceed?
Melody's like, I think just kind of overwhelmed and exasperated. She's like, I don't know. I like, it would be great if the Fae was real. That would be amazing. And I hate seeing that dragon, like really pretty dragon, so sick and miserable. Was terrible. I wish there was something we could do, but I just don't know. I don't know what what can we do about, a Fae realm with no magic? And like, is it for us to do something about? Is there someone else who actually like knows something or has some power we should talk to? I don't know. It just all feels really big.
Where do you think the Jaman Sahord would fall in this situation? Do you think he's someone that would like to know more and have the influence and power to do something?
I don't know. I don't really know much about him. And the way you guys described the way that he talked during that memorial, that funeral, it sounded kind of a little threatening. Like, I don't know that he's here to make everything right in a really pretty kind way.
I understand.
What do you think?
I agree with you that us as individuals have very little we could probably impact at that great of a scale. But I believe we're slowly connecting pieces, meeting new people around Jrusar that can help us make some sort of impact.
I agree, and I know this is important to Foreign, it's important to Karina.
Is it not important to you? Your sister seems very invested in
she's
finding a land for your kind to go to escape.
She's so focused on it. I want her to be happy. I want Foreign and Karina to be happy, but there's a lot to do here too. Jrusar's really amazing too. There's a lot we could do. And it feels like we're like chasing a pipe dream to like try and chase down the Fae when we have a whole world right here.
So you want to stay and just try to build a life here?
I'm not saying I want to help. I want to help. I don't know how real this is. I just don't want to lose sight of what's going on here.
I understand. I'm wondering if... Hold on, I'm trying to find her name in my notes. Oh, where is she? Caleb. Wonder if Caleb asked us to join her at the Windowed Well. They're building some sort of shrine. She seems to have connections within the spiritual community here. And I would also like to inquire more with her with some of the things I felt at the temple, some of the things I felt in the basement of the Fire by Spire. Because there's energies popping up that seem to be pretty intense. And I'm worried if this accelerates, it's going to be much harder for us to get by.
I'm down to go.
My concern is with Karina and her little evil might not go over very well with.
You don't know about evil yet.
Oh, I don't. My fault.
I'm keeping him so well hidden. I was so discreet.
My fault. My notes wrong.
Well, did you never called the raven evil in front of us? You're just like, ew, a bird.
Yeah. She always pretended it was just some rancid bird that was following her around.
Okay.
We pretended it belonged to my mentor.
Well, I believe we should maybe gather the crew and try to see what Caleb may have for us to assist us.
Yeah, we have to drop off all this stuff anyway. Can you also carry this bag?
Yes.
I'm just getting a little tired of carrying it.
So as you guys continue your shopping trip, do some more purchases and gather whatever little odds and ends you want for the store and the living quarters. There's a lot of furnishment requirements and things that you need, but did an okay shopping trip. By the time the two of you get back, Atraumaton and Karina are on their way back as well. For anything you're doing while they're all gone at this point, you have the place to yourself for a little while. You're mute.
Sorry. I'm sitting out on the balcony looking out towards the Mayflower Bridge with just the scope from my rifle. Like, I've taken the scope off and I'm just kind of observing the bridge, watching to see if this guy comes out with a green hat. And if he doesn't get there before they get back, I'm going to burn the talisman and find out where he is.
Give me a perception check with advantage because you are using the scope.
Already got one over there. I'll take the 11. That's a 17.
17. There is no sign of the instructions that were given.
Okay.
All right. Who is thumping their finger on the desk? I'm guessing it's Tally.
How dare you?
Oh, it's somebody's clicking
like a pencil or something.
Yeah. or like a mouse.
Like it wasn't me. Well, because I saw everyone else go mute. And I'm like, aha!
It wasn't me.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Tyler's like, fuck you, game master.
I didn't say that.
You did say he tried to kill you, though.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, no sign that anyone followed the directions. No sign or indication of what you're looking for.
So if when they all get back, I'm sitting on the balcony like wringing my hands.
Yeah, at this point, everybody's back now to the. Have you guys given your place a name yet? Like your location, like any ideas of what you want to call it?
Does anybody have suggestions?
Melody's Manor.
Little personal.
I think it works.
Well, how about the Fate Walk, but FEYTWALK?
That's fun.
I mean, 3 of us are Fae, at least. You're angelic. He's...
I changed my mind. It's too revealing of who we are. We need something that will hide us better. Oh, this is from
The not Fey walk.
I mean, we're on the Fate Walk Bridge. That was the whole point, was we're on the bridge. It's the Fate Walk Bridge. We're just playing off of that. We're right next to the bridge. The Fate Walk.
the 5 normal humans.
Well, what are we?
Wait, who's the human?
What do we think that we're selling? Like, what is our business going to be?
Oh, right.
No,
Well-
didn't we have something that
Maybe
we were
some little
suggesting?
treats, or I could
So
give
I would-
makeovers.
That would be pretty good, actually. And the
just
rest
wanna
of the
make sure,
campaign is just that.
Yes.
Your salon.
Go ahead, Trauma.
I just want to make sure I'm getting this all right. So we are literally recreating the premise behind Racketeer in the D&D game.
Certainly.
Well,
With the
there's-
great-
Did that go out?
We're the great fakers.
No, again,
Fakers.
The fakers. Korea like cringes every time you use the name of the shop as Faye.
well, there's this very gritty, realistic novel I love called The Lord of the Rings. They have a store name there called The Shire, where they sell jewelry.
What if it's the Shifties Shire?
Okay,
Why
no,
are we
that's just
talking
personal attacks. Maybe let's figure out what we're selling, and then we'll figure out how
Yeah.
to market it.
And if we can't come up with anything, then Melody's Manor is a good fallback.
Okay, you'll be taking all the heat for the inevitable problems we will cause, but yes, let's.
So all 5 of you are now back at your pending name here location.
Yes.
We do need to figure out if one of us is good at something, so we can sell that. I think makeovers is our
kind of
best bet.
starts raising a hand just to just be like murder, and then just like thinks about it, but
Eric, you actually held up job that's like a normal job for a while. Do you have any suggestions for a normal workplace?
Well, I mean, the Spire by Fire is destroyed. Should we just open another bar in replacement?
Are we gonna call ourselves after Amber Brew's place and just take over, assume his identity? Because I'm actually
it
very comfortable with that.
Fire.
The Fire by Fire.
Houdini. Come on, Houdini. Let's go, buddy. Oh boy.
The moment you decide to name a cat Houdini, you're just asking for trouble.
No, you don't understand. He got the name Houdini because he appeared like we were building a bookshelf in the bedroom. He was screaming because he got trapped behind it. And then as we were as my husband and I left the room to pull it out, no, he just appeared and he was like, "What?" So
So he's a drama llama. Gotcha.
he
And
earned the
drama
name.
llama.
He's an escape artist. He's just Yeah, he absolutely earned the name, but yeah.
Now,
he
Grung's
was-
place next door is a general goods shop with ceramics. He caters to people that are in the alchemy business or require some of the basic components of alchemy. I think he had expressed that the previous owner of the shop that you guys purchased was more of a woodworker. Did a lot of wood furniture and woodwork, and they had bought his remaining inventory, and that's kind of staged in Grung's shop as well. The very next shop next to you guys, now that your shop's empty, the very next shop to you is kind of like a basic clothers shop. They sell fabric and they sell clothing. This part of the faded walk between the core spire and the lantern spire, you guys are more on the core spire side, so the clientele is a little bit more working class. The shops over on the lantern spire kind of tend to run up the gambit towards the middle tier of the lantern spire, and they're more like the Silver Time and the Golden Thread and all these places that are a little bit more kind of like over the top and cater to the more nobility classes.
Well, we are investigating the potentially shady export of goods and the businesses that relate to it, specifically as things that might have come from the Fae. Maybe we can use this as an excuse to have legitimate reasons to ask, about the origin of those things. Maybe sell a little bit and just enough to kind of get to know people in the business without,
Yeah,
getting in
Karina,
trouble.
you just triggered me.
Why?
You guys should be a pawn shop.
That was my idea.
No, that was my idea, not your idea.
No, it was my idea. Grunk said, "No, that's dumb."
Well, that's because there's a
Oh.
pawn shop, on every level.
Yeah.
But I like Karina's idea of being more of an import-export shop.
Yeah.
Kind of like a pawn shop, but import-export, where you just buy strange things from people and use their stories as well as what they sell you as a way to kind of figure out what's going on and make money at the same time. That's pretty clever. Or you could just call yourselves the Murder Hobo Bar.
Oh, I got it.
What, another one?
The Prancing Centaur.
I mean, it's great, but what are we selling?
Junk.
Junk.
Look
Okay.
who works here. And I point at
I don't
Trauma.
want to sell junk. Like, if we're gonna sell stuff, let's sell like good, cute stuff.
Only
can you
cute,
make
the cute
stuff?
pawn shop.
Like
It
it
is the Prancing Centaur. You can be as cute as you want.
Yeah, let's make it cute. Let's make the stuff in it cute so that people want to come here and spend their money.
This has become a very serious endeavor. This has turned from a side quest to the actual quest.
This is what this campaign is about now.
If we don't get 500 gold in 30 days, it don't matter what we call the shop, because it ain't ours anymore.
That's true. Well, do you guys remember the orc we met very early on who talked about getting a lot of his goods through what was it called again? The
Hellcatch Valley.
Yeah. We know that a lot of kind of shady things come through there. We have some contact with somebody who works in import. Maybe we can see if we can find some stuff that we can buy cheap and then unload them much more expensively to dumb people.
I mean, Trauma picked up a whole lot of stuff for cheap yesterday. A whole lot of stuff.
And Melody seems to be very persuasive. Yeah, I'm sure we could get us something.
Melody, Corinna, you are the most persuasive of anyone here, I believe.
We're persuasive in different ways. She gets them to agree nicely, and I just lie a lot.
So we really should be a pawn shop then.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense considering our skill sets, yes.
Look, I could just see Corinna being, let me call an expert, walk out of the room, shapeshift, and walk back in and be like, oh yeah, that thing's worth thousands of gold,
I do have distort value. Let's see what we can do with this.
The half orc that you had talked to previously was a contact that you met over on the Airy Spire. And she goes by the name of Zara.
Are you talking about that guy in the second episode?
Oh, there was Corin. There was also Corin Stoneclaw.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who was the Beastmaster, who was selling animals and other things. I think that's who you probably were talking to.
Yeah.
And she was a Goliath.
Yeah, there was.
But Emberbrew's friend was also Emberbrew, and his orc pal were dealing in the illicits as well in the basement of the Spire by Fire.
That's true. How about we go into teams and we all just try to find some kind of sustainable thing that we can get, and whoever gets the best junk, we sell that, or we sell all the junk.
Okay.
Claiming
So-
bounties is fairly profitable.
Now, I want you guys to really consider that because I will tell you in game terms now, like Trauma is going to do something very in character and incredibly stupid the moment we break.
Ooh.
Are you gonna go steal stuff?
No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out, enter my sentry mode with a handwritten sign on my chest that just says "Murder for hire, inquire within."
Trauma, what do you think we should sell?
Trauma for hire. That's what it is.
Yeah, we're a trauma center.
Again, just
Not that kind, though. We'll give you the trauma, right?
just kind of like there's always a market for ultra violence. Have you considered this?
And you
That's-
watch as Trauma
Mercenary-
puts on a sign.
But can we make the murder cute? So Melody is.
Can we make the murder cute?
I can see it, you guys. I don't know how
Fill
we
it
can
in
make
flowers.
Yeah.
Still with the blood, it's a little gross, I think.
I mean, we can always do murder, like, like we need a legal front, which I'm sure you're very familiar with what a legal front looks like.
That's
And
what
if
the
that
pawnbroker
doesn't work,
idea
then we
was-
can have an illegal back.
That's
Guys,
what the pawnbroker
cannot
idea was about.
Murder for hire.
Look, in the front, we sell all the stuff off the people that happen to come up missing.
Hmm.
Yes, this does generally go against my values. The whole murder.
Yeah. I really
Okay.
I
Can you
support
distort
it.
value on these guys so they can agree with our plan?
Let me try this real quick. I think we've done enough to kind of call attention to ourselves. Let's try to, at least for a while, see if we can make it to something a little unassuming. Just because it would be more trouble for us to murder people at the moment. Not because it goes against our values or anything like that. Except for the two people here who have values.
So the people that have values here, has anybody got a bit of a green thumb? Maybe want to do a flower shop or something? Because I mean, we could just combine our loves and just be pushing up daisies.
It's like Sweeney Todd, but with fertilizer.
I really wish I had Druidcraft because I feel like that would be so good for Melody, but alas, I do not.
Well, how about we go out and question the people and see if we can find any kind of like profitable goods for us to try and sell.
As we're talking about going out, so I still have this talisman. I tried to reach out to the fella. The fella didn't seem to want to show. I can burn the talisman, find out where he is. Perhaps we can track him down and collect a bounty on someone responsible for whatever happened last night.
That's not a bad idea. I mean, that's
Yes,
money.
Good start. We do need the money.
I didn't see them. The two gentlemen that I dropped my talismans on were not among the bodies found outside. So
So we should probably act fast. Okay. Do we want to split or I think
One of them
we can
was found
split.
outside. One was under the coverings of the dead people. The one that still had the active talisman was not
still gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one with the busted foot was found.
correct.
So-
Yeah, partial remains.
How about we split into two groups? One group will follow your lead, and the other group will follow a lead that will pertain to our future establishment. Does that sound like something people are interested in, or do we want to follow a different plan?
Certainly.
Can we vote real quick?
Yes, I'm for splitting and having us. Some of us look around and see what
Split
type
the
of business we can
group.
open and
Split the group.
Group. Okay, Scooby Doo, let's do this.
Hey, Scoob.
I think either Melody or Karina should go get the goods, so we should split the group based on what am I doing? Okay, who wants to do what? Let's start with that.
I'm obviously
Yeah.
tracking down this fella because I can
It-
typically have
Perfect.
pretty good tracking skills. Typically,
Trauma, do you want to be intimidating while searching for goods, or do you want to be intimidating while hunting down this guy?
I'm telling you, look in his pockets. Did you not see him going through the bodies?
Yeah. Okay.
So if Drama and Foreign are going together, I feel compelled to be a little bit of a mediator between them because things are a little south if it's just the two of them.
So trauma is
It's a
just
trail
gonna
of
kind
blood.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be selling your body parts at the shop.
I can take my teeth out. Hey, we can sell my teeth, and then I can spy on people, and we can steal stuff.
Is there a market for teeth?
They're fey teeth. You could sell them as fey
I guess
teeth.
those are becoming
this-
rare.
That's actually fair.
They would show up as magical, I believe.
They will show
Okay,
up.
trauma just kind of wants to
no.
stare at you and be like, that's disgusting and low for me. I don't feel comfortable doing that. This is me talking.
And like
the Warforged.
I'm talking to you with the talisman, which is my tooth that you have on your person. Like,
Yeah,
what about my tooth?
Okay,
Just
so just
teeth
making
just get
sure. So, Trauma, okay, Melody, are you thinking of you're going to get the goods, right?
Yeah, I'll go on the acquisition run.
Perfect. So, okay, the Trauma and Nordrio, just making sure. Okay, so you want to go hunt down this guy, or man, this is like planning brunch together. This is a nightmare. Somebody,
Like
just
planning a
everybody, tell me
D&D
what you want to do.
It's like planning a D&D session.
That's
Hey,
very true.
you guys available today?
Split the party.
Yeah.
This is what they want to
All right, you guys just all earned D6 inspiration. That was pretty epic. You guys slipped fourth wall into your fantasy game, but it was not quite fourth wall at the same time.
Okay, so I can go with Melody, or I can go with the Born. Where do you guys think I will be more helpful? I feel like I'm better. Yeah.
The two of you are persuasive together, and we don't necessarily need someone persuasive. We can capture the fella, bring him
Okay.
back, and you can be as persuasive as you want once we get back.
Okay, does that sound okay with everyone? Everybody, okay. Then after that, Karina kind of goes to the back and kind of like goes into a fetal position for a solid 5 minutes.
Watch out for the rat poop.
It's too late. Everything here is rat poop.
I'm putting pillows on Karina's bed around Karina. Like, I picked a couple of these up today.
Making plans is so stressful.
I know.
So Karina and Melody are heading out to acquire goods. Trauma, Eritrea, and Forn are going to see if they could track down this other individual that may have knowledge as a part of the heist and maybe what was connected to the heist within the auction house. Let's go ahead and take our 5-minute break. And when we come back, we will do the second half. I think Tally got disconnected.
That's goofy.
So I legitimately would not mind getting a tattoo of that. That looks adorable. I've seen it before.
Murder Kitty. Murder Kitty.
I mean, Actually, guys, I have a horrible goose. No, I really do have.
horrible gooses.
Yeah, we have horrible gooses. I don't know how well they come across on camera, but yeah.
Cute. That's adorable.
I love my nerds. They're so cool.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh, hi,
yeah,
Tally.
nice
Welcome
getting
back.
fun.
It's back.
Hi.
Did your new chair cause you to fall asleep and you hit the keyboard, or?
exactly. I was so comfortable for once. Oh my
my
god.
Right.
Toast.
A toast cat.
I love
Yes,
the murder cat.
it
That's pretty
spots.
cool. Yeah, it's it's Spot.
Hey,
It's Spot's
Hey, now.
black brother.
so full disclosure, when I first created what would become Spot for a different campaign, they were actually a black cat.
Aww. His former life, their former life.
Yep.
Yeah.
So with that, Karina and Melody, where are you heading off to?
Well, are we looking for magic items, or are we just looking for items we think that we can flip?
I think maybe we can talk to that half orc guy, and see if maybe he just has any good insider tips about any cheap goods that are coming in from the Hellcatch Valley.
Okay.
And again, if that gives us any amount of,
So you're tracking down Corin over at the Aerie Spire?
I guess so.
Yeah, because Corin's a female Goliath.
Oh, wait, we spoke
We
to
did
a
talk to a man, didn't we?
yeah.
That was
Karina
I thought the
flirted.
man was the guy who was
The guy who was
working
a-
with Ember Brew. Yeah, the
No.
rich orc was the one.
Yeah, the rich orc was working with Ember. He was Ember Brew's money launderer, so to speak.
There was the person who was like talking in front of me about trying to like sell Fae stuff.
Yeah.
Was a male orc.
Yeah, he
Did we
was
get his name?
selling like. Oh, he sold me my golden beetle, or my Let me see.
Oh,
what he
yeah,
sold
yeah.
me.
It's Corin Stoneclaw, right?
Yeah,
That was the
Corin.
Goliath, I
Oh
thought.
yeah, that was sorry. That's my wrong note. Nope, that is the Orc Beastmaster. Yes.
Okay.
The
Is
female Goliath is Zara. I've got their bookmarks wrong. Zara Stormstrong was the Goliath female, and I had moved her to the wrong bookmark point. Nope, you're right. Corin Stoneclaw, male orc who trades in beastly creatures and pets and animals and rare exotics of particular flora and fauna.
Maybe he has some good insider tips, and it seems like a lot of strange things happen in our coming in through the Hellcatch Valley, so maybe we can kind of use that to learn more.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Should I bring the Shimmerling?
Oh, I mean, that's certainly. Oh, sorry.
Oh, should I bring the Shimmerling wings that we got? I mean, maybe it's like a bargaining chip, although I kind of hate to give it to him since he's kind of a creep.
We do have, I guess, some scales, and I guess we all have some pieces of scales that we were able to take, and one of us also has some teeth. I unceremoniously lost the eyeball. I accidentally stepped on it, actually. So
You know what? I'd also like to do maybe before we start is I still have this little diamond, and maybe we can quickly pawn or sell that. That's supposed to be worth like 1,000 gold. That could start us off pretty good.
It could. But I would be afraid of us getting jumped with all that gold. Do you want to maybe do it on our way back? If that's okay?
Sure.
Uh,
Do you have money to pay for stuff if we see stuff that we like?
I have 11 silver.
I have about
That's sad.
about 50 gold.
You know what? I think you're right.
Okay.
You also have distort value.
And a stored value. This is
I actually don't have it right now. I was like, okay, well, the thing is
Oh,
over.
no.
I lose it for. I'll get something more practical for our
Oh.
fight.
all right. Okay. So what? Maybe let's go do that, and then we'll have a little bit of money and can try and go talk to people.
That sounds like a plan.
Okay. So do we have a sense for, apparently there are pawn shops everywhere. Is there like a pawn shop, or is there like a magic?
Well, it's a little bit kind of Grung was being a little bit facetious.
Mhm.
The most common shop in Jrusar would be like general goods shops of different things brought in from different regions of either Marquet or other continental areas. It's kind of like that old adage of, if you want to buy a really good 50-foot length of rope, go to this guy, don't go to that guy, that kind of thing. He gets it from the cheap places, he gets it from the good places. A lot of that kind of merchant back and forth kind of going on in the general area. For you guys, with Karina's contacts and her knowledge of Jrusar, the Ember Spire is the kind of industrial section of Jrusar. That's where a lot of raw goods are kind of turned into things for purposes of either being shipped out to other places across Marquet or shipped out to other continents, depending on what's being made. Anything from an ironworks to a stoneworks to a massive collaboration of making fabrics and materials. If there's lots of ships out in the Lucidian Sea, someone's got to be making all the canvas and the sails that get sold all across, the different port cities. So the Ember Spire is more of that heavier industrial area. The Ares Spire, where all the airships come and go on a regular basis, in the lower portions of the Ares Spire, there are a lot of warehouse districts, and where import-export goods are brought in, kind of stashed, put into inventory, and either sold locally to the city or exported out deeper into the areas of Marquet, or being prepared to be exported out to the different continents of either Taldori or Isilra or Wildmont. So it just kind of depends on what you guys want to do. If you want to get into the import-export business, the Ares Spire and hooking up with Corin to discuss what he knows is a good opportunity. Or if you want to go and find out somebody who manufactures stuff and buy directly from the builder or creator, you could always head off to the Ember Spire.
What if we want to sell the diamond that we have?
Definitely the Ares Spire feels like a good spot to go. There were a lot of gem makers, jewelers, and other kind of specialized trades in the Ares Spire. So that would be a good location to head out to.
Okay.
In
So
fact,
we're in there
the
as
two
well.
of you have been to the Ares Spire a couple times. So the two of you give me history checks, if you would, please.
Let me give Karina the help action on a history check.
First one is 17.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Second one is 8.
That's Melody helping.
No, I totally remember.
Yeah. So it
There is a shop you remember over there, Karina, during your time over on the Ares Spire. It was called the Worm's Hoard. It was a shop that specialized in jewelry, gems, and precious metals.
Okay, let's start there.
sounds great.
So the two of you head off towards the Ares Spire gondola at this point. Foreign, you and Atramaton and Eritrea are out in the busy streets of the market. Do you activate the...
Yep, I'm gonna
Nice.
burn my talisman
Is
So
there
I
a
can-
limitation on distance at all?
Let me check. 10 miles.
10 miles.
And it's 1 minute see and hear.
With you walking in between Trauma and Eritrea, you kind of pull your hood over a little bit to cover your eyes, and you are now listening and seeing where this person would be. As you listen, you can hear the sounds of rats gnawing on meat and bone. As you see, you're looking straight up into the sky. At the peripheral of your sight, it appears that you're in some kind of alleyway somewhere. There's no sense that the person you're seeing and hearing through is alive, which immediately kind of...
Are there any features of the alley that would give me an idea of which spire they might be on?
Yeah, give me a survival check, if you would, please.
Survival? All right. Oof. 8.
From the direction that they were looking up in the sky, it felt like the core spire. You also remembered seeing trails of smoke in the air. It could be the core spire, the pyre, or the funeral pyre level, the tomb level, or alleyways maybe right above it. But definitely the core spire.
As I snap back out of it, gentlemen, first, I believe our quarry may not be alive. Secondly, they're in an alley. Seems like perhaps on the core spire. I was able to see smoke around, so I just ballparking. I think they're close to the bottom of the core spire. There's not really any smoke towards the top. I believe we should head that way.
I'm with you.
All right. Trauma, you okay? All right.
So, I thought I kind of mumbled something there. I didn't realize I was still on mute. But yes, Trauma's in.
Remember the last time we found a dead body in an alleyway?
Things didn't exactly go as planned, but so lightning doesn't strike twice.
I was just sitting there like, found. Yes. Found.
As the three of you cross over the faded bridge onto the core spire, you begin to wait for the gondola that'll take you down towards the lower levels of the core spire. It's always interesting during a clear day like today to kind of look out upon just this immense sea of jungle canopy that just rolls on, surrounding the entirety of the city. Once you're on the gondola, on your way down, it stops at the last level just before the tombs level because it is currently closed off for due to the recent requirements of those that perished in the previous day's event. So it kind of forces you to get off on that level. And when you do, there's a rather interesting crowd of people. The three of you give me perception checks as you kind of glance at the crowd, try to figure out where to start your search.
All right. Okay. What's
14.
14.
19.
Yep.
19. 19.
Okay. Eritrea?
13 for me.
Okay. Trauma, you notice there is 3 individuals over by a water fountain. Just a simple 10-foot diameter water fountain. They seem to be laughing, and one of them is not laughing. He seems very upset. His edge of the frill of his cloak is in the water, and then he's taking some kind of cloth and trying to wash blood out of his cloak.
We have to point that out to, to Foreign and Eritrea, just like there are 3 individuals over there, one of whom attempts to be trying to remove some type of evidence from their clothing.
And as you guys look at them a little more intently, you can see one's got a heavy scar across his face. Another one, she's got a heavy bruise on her chin. She's like kind of laughing and it winces every time she touches it. And the small halfling figure kind of sitting on the edge of the fountain bench is just kind of laughing at the two of them as the one in the middle is trying to clean his cloak. They look shady. They don't look like people that are in the business of good.
Perhaps we should go make their acquaintance. The betrayal, maybe you step behind the two of us.
I'll be here to heal you if you need it.
Trauma, after you, my friend.
Trauma just kind of hunches over, kind of getting into his battle mode more than just kind of starts trudging forward, just like
the minute a Traumaton starts approaching them, all three of them scatter.
How far away are we?
Did they
About
leave
60
anything
feet
behind?
away.
I'm sorry, how long? How far?
60 feet away. And they
I
are
don't really have
looking it in three different directions. One's going down an alley. Another one's heading over towards stairs that lead up to the next level. And the other one went in amongst a bunch of different buildings in the middle of this section of the spire.
There's no way this will work, but I mean, I was an ex-bounty hunter. Can I try to fashion a lasso out of my rope and try to snag one of them?
That would be too out of range
Okay,
at this
I
point.
think I was.
I'm gonna the one that was injured, or the one that was not the one that was washing the blood off. Rather, sorry.
Okay.
That I'm just gonna the one with the blood. I'm just gonna take off running after that one.
Okay. That's the one that went in between the buildings ahead of you. You guys watch as foreign chases after that one.
Charles
Trio, Trauma, what are you two doing?
The one that had the. I know there was the one that was trying to wash the blood out of their clothes. You said there was
That's the
another
one
that
that
had
Foreign's
That's
chasing.
one I'm chasing.
the one that had the bruise. I'm going to go after that one.
Okay. That's the one heading up towards the next level as you start. It's always interesting to watch Trauma run. It's boom, 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 boom. It's like a
T-Rex.
forklift with it's like a forklift with feet. As he goes tearing after the one that went up the rampway, the stairs up to the next level.
I don't want me to keep.
I'll chase the last one, and as I'm like kind of running by where they scattered from, did they drop anything or leave anything behind over there?
What's your passive perception?
Passive perception 13.
They didn't leave anything, but there is a blood trail. Like just a little bit of spattering of blood and where they kind of were cleaning themselves off. And all their boots were wet from being by the fountain. So there's the start of the boot prints going into the alleys for yours, Eritrea, as well as Foreign and Trauma. Trauma, you could actually see the one that you're chasing kind of making their way up the long stairs, but they got quite a run ahead of you. So they got a good jump on that, getting out of there. Foreign, you're in between some buildings. You at the right side of you look to your right as you go into the buildings, and there's Eritrea kind of going into the alleyways over where the other one went. Give me a survival check, Foreign, as you enter into the building areas.
That's better. That's a 17.
Okay. You can see scuffs, wet, like the cloak is still wet, so it's leaving behind a water trail, droplets that don't quite dry completely. And you stop in front of a 3-story structure that's carved into the spire. It looks abandoned. The door looks kicked in. You can see signs that someone has come through this doorway pretty recently.
Okay. I'm going to take a quick scan of like if this is the only entrance there, if there's a window or something somewhere.
Look to the right of it. There is a boarded up window to your right. There's another window to your left that's partially boarded up. Some of the slats are just kind of hanging off the frame. You look up, the story above the next story up has a little patio area with some railing and some kind of like broken and dilapidated windows up above as well.
You know, climbing has not failed me yet, as I've fallen through a building and taken only fall damage in the fight that we had. Only fall damage falling down the building.
This is true. Yeah, this is very true.
Naturally, I'm going to try and get up to the patio. I'm going for the patio, for the little balcony patio.
Okay. Eritrea, give me a survival check as you're now in the alleyways looking for where this person might have gone.
That's a 10.
10. You're struggling to find the trail as you begin to look into different alleys that seem to just kind of wind off in different directions. Some go straight, some kind of curve to the right, some curve to the left, as you just kind of continue to struggle to see where this path had led to. Trauma, as you're lumbering up the stairwell, following the one, you follow that they get up to the next level and then you lose sight of them. You continue running up, you get to the top of the level, and you're now in a crowd of what looks to be miners. They've all got pickaxes and hammers, and they've got the metal helmets on with the little candle wick mining device so that they can see in the dark. And there's a large tunnel here, like the beginning of a tunnel entrance. And you can see ore carts coming out of it. Give me survival as you check the ground around where this person ran up to.
All right, give me 1 second. Survival. It's almost like these are in alphabetical order. 15. 1-5.
15. You see the start of footprints going directly into the tunnel. You see a torn piece of cloth on the corner of one of the ore carts. You get the feeling this person ran into the tunnel.
All right. So, how big is the entrance? Is it something that trauma can fit through?
Oh yeah, it's 20 feet tall by 30 feet wide.
Okay.
It's a major they're mining something here that you're not sure, but there's a good 3 or 4 dozen people around milling about. You watch as a group of 6 of the miners kind of get together and they pile into an ore cart, and then they pull a lever, and then a counterbalance on the ore cart kind of like pulls the ore cart into the tunnel. You can hear the creaking and the clanking of, the metal wheels taking them deep into the mine.
All right. Trauma is going to just continue kind of charging into that mine shaft, just seeing if there's anything else he notices from the person he's chasing.
Okay, so you keep following into the mine. Karina and Melody, you are currently on the gondola that's taking you up to the level of the Ares Spire to track down Corin. Not too hard of a person to find. He's quite bombastic. You notice that he's got fresh cages out. He's got wagons. He's got all these new creatures for sale. He's got these glass jars filled with insects. He sees the two of you approach. Hi, you're back. How you doing? Good to see you. Everything okay? Can't hear you, Karina. You're talking. You okay? You lose your voice. You feeling all right?
I think I'm still in my legal-ass form, whereas beforehand he saw me as Corina, so he
would only recognize Melody. Yeah, he'd only recognize Melody.
And I'll do my channel divinity, otherworldly elegance for this.
Okay.
Wait, is that real? That's awesome.
It's a real oath of beauty feature, and it basically makes me real pretty for an hour, and it
the best
super pretty
big magic available in this game.
What is I guess we're just hitting him up to get information. Warren, hey, oh my gosh.
Hey, Melody, you're looking kind of shiny today. How are you? What could old Corin do for you?
I see you just got a new shipment in. Anything exciting?
Yeah. One of the airships just came in this morning from the Hellcatch.
Oh,
Brought me a bunch of desert creatures and insects as well. Yeah.
Hey, how do you get the connections to know when those shipments are going to come in? Like, who do I talk to?
Oh, you could go up to the Airy Spire tower. There's people up there that post all the different rosters of all the ships coming and going. Sometimes the ships just kind of come on in and settle and let down their ramp. You go in and buy what you want, and then they take off. They just don't want to pay that storage fee for the warehouses. They just kind of come and go. Some of the stewards and people that manage the Airy Spire dock, you slip them a few gold. They tell you which ships are the right ones to go dock to. There's a smuggler presence up there, of course. I mean, if they look shady, ask them shady questions. I'm sure they got something for you.
You think they'll just talk to someone like me?
Oh yeah, you're gorgeous. Won't be a problem.
Have you met my friend Legolas, by the way?
That's an interesting name. It sounds like the more I say it, the more I'm going to get charged. But anyways, no, I haven't. Pleasure to meet you there, Legolas.
It's actually pronounced legal.
Oh,
Okay,
Legolas. Okay. Well, I mean, not many people have ass as a surname, so okay. Good to meet you.
Hi, it's very good to meet you. And you kind of,
Oh yeah, I'm
be a
sorry.
little
You're
funny.
pretty too. Yeah, you're pretty too.
Thanks. You know what? We're kind of just trying to get our start a little bit, see what's available. Do you know if there is anything that might be in surplus right now that somebody might just really want to get rid of?
You don't mind if I work while we talk, do you?
No, we love watching you work.
He goes over to a wooden crate, reaches in, pulls out a big armadillo, and he sets it on the butcher's block. Pulls out a cleaver, like starts chopping it into pieces.
Oh.
They're like blood spattering everywhere. You actually watch the blood bounce off Melody, like it spatters towards her, and it bounces off by some magical brilliance that's currently an aura around her. No, sorry about that. He goes over to a cage with a strange kind of panther-like creature in it, and he tosses in a big hunk of the meat into the panther and immediately just gobbles it up. He takes some more of the meat over. He comes back with a towel and he's like wiping his hands off. Well, let me see about that. I mean, well, it's funny that you mentioned that, actually. So you remember that fire that took place over in the Ember Spire? A big...
Hard to forget.
Yeah, it was quite the disaster. Well, there was a rather large shipment of alchemicals coming in for somebody that had placed the order. There's a ship up there on the third ramp. There's been unable to sell its powder and chemicals that it brought in to sell to that person. They've been looking for buyers, but that shit's kind of expensive, so haven't been too many takers.
Interesting. Thanks. And do you know if there's anything maybe less dangerous that's been hitting the streets?
Well, let's see. I know. Well, recently, with that fire that took place in the Ember Spire, old Saffron perished in the fire. He keeps an import shop called Saffron Sun Imports over here in the Airy Spire. No one's been running that place since he died. He didn't really have any family. In fact, they might just be simply auctioning off his shit right now as we speak. I don't really dabble in those kind of goods. So I'm not really that interested. Oh, yeah. You heard about Ember Brew, yeah?
Yeah, that was so terrible. I can't believe
Yeah, one of my favorite places to go drink.
Yeah, like what the
Fire
heck?
by fire. Yeah. Well, he buys from a fella who runs a little trading house over there. It's called the I was just looking at it and I wanted to give it to you right away. The Laughing Chalice. That's where he would get most of his beverages from.
Ooh.
Should we do one of those places where we give people drinks while they look at trinkets?
Oh, fuck yeah. I'd buy a trinket
buy
from
more
you.
stuff.
Can you imagine the two of you coming out with a tray of wine? And that'd be pretty posh. I mean, I got fingers like sausages, so I'm not very delicate with things, but yeah, that would be pretty cool.
I love the concept.
Well, this is all extremely helpful. Maybe we should check out Saffron Sun Imports if they have a lot of things just ready to go.
That sounds like a plan. It sounds like a good match for us at the moment. And we
Well,
could.
if you need anything, you know where I am. And he brings the cleaver down on another armadillo.
Oh,
Hey, out of curiosity, if you had about 5 yards of Shimmerling wing, how much would you sell it for?
Well, now you're pulling old corns. Yeah, come on.
I'm just
Really?
curious.
Wait. Do you have some?
It's purely hypothetical. How much would you sell it for?
He like literally like kind of grabs you by the hand, pulls you over to the backside of the crates. He's like, "Don't fuck with me, miss. Are you telling me you have some?" It's the only reason why you'd ask a question like that.
Yeah, I do.
Legolas is kind of going in the back, trying to look intimidating.
I'm assuming it's pre-phase Shimmerling then, yeah? Because obviously they don't exist anymore.
I don't really have a ton of details, to be honest with you.
Can I see it?
I don't have it with me.
Tell you what, you bring it back, and if it looks good quality, how much did you say you had?
About 5 yards.
I can give you 200 gold a yard.
All right, we'll take it into consideration.
Yeah. Don't be selling it to no one but me, though. That's good shit. I gotta buy it for that. Oh, that reminds me. If you ever come across, well, do your horns fall out or do they stay? Do they like pop off and then you have to grow new ones, or how does that work?
I think probably they stay.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, if you ever go get a hair trim, a toenail clipping, or something, can you bring those bits and bobs to me?
To sell? Not for like...
Well, I've already got a buyer for it. He's pretty big on that kind of stuff.
Who's your buyer? Who's buying this
Goes
stuff?
by the name Crimp.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I feel like I've heard his name around.
Well, you should have. He works for the Ivory Syndicate, always buying up exotic stuff like that. Pixie wings, Fey remains, trimmings, clippings, horns, anything related to the Fey. I'm very big on procuring these items.
What's he do with it all? Do you know?
Fuck, I don't know. I just take his money and don't starve, if you get my meaning.
Sure. Well, this has been great.
Yeah, you ladies have fun. Starts chopping up another armadillo to feed to the other creatures.
Melody is out of there as fast as possible. This guy's just the absolute worst.
Eritrea, give me another survival check as you continue to try to look at the ground, following the different pathways as best you can.
6.
Yeah, you're struggling.
I just
Lost
got
the trail.
and these aren't working.
It's worse than losing the trail. You're kind of lost in the alleyways at this point.
Oh,
They're
geez.
so corkscrewed and back turning, and you're like, oh fuck. You're kind of like looking at the skyline. It's very narrow. There's lots of just structures around you. You get the feeling that you might be lost amongst the alleyways.
Is it dark?
No, it's midday.
Okay.
It's shadowy because of the narrowness of all the structures in the alleyways. So there's a lot of shadow in here.
Okay.
They're climbable.
You
Yeah.
fly up now that you have wings?
Yeah, I do have wings now. No, what is the flying mechanic?
Nothing more useless than an angel with wings.
Yeah. Flying speed of 30 feet. Once per each of my turns.
How long do your wings last when you call them out?
Transformation lasts for 1 minute or until you end it as a bonus action.
Yeah. I mean, you would be able to bring out your wings and get to the top of the first set of structures that you're kind of lost between. That would get you up there. They probably wouldn't last long enough to get you down. Because once you're up there, you got to figure out where you are.
I think I might have. Would I have a good sight over the alleyways once I'm up there?
Possibly. Yeah.
let's do it. Yeah, let's try to get up to that first
Your
level.
wings come out. You start flying up towards the height of the structures. As you get above the structures, give me perception with advantage as you start looking around, trying to orient yourself on where you came from.
All right, 21.
You focus on the gondola that's going by you. Another one kind of going up. You realize you've kind of corkscrewed your way into the internal of the spire. And if you were to backtrack, you probably could find your way back to the gondola landing that you and your friends had arrived on. So you have a sense of direction. You hear flat-booted feet that are moving swiftly. And that's when you look across the top of the structure. You can see a figure running across the tops of the roofs and leaping over the alleyways, trying to get even further away from you. This person's pretty fast.
Yeah, I would like to try to pursue him as.
You've got about half a minute left on your flying, so you use your wings to kind of cut the distance down between you and them as they're. And because you're so quiet, they've kind of slowed down. They don't know they're being chased at this point. They're being a little bit cautious. And they've kind of stopped at a structure. And you're now within 30 feet of them just as your wings kind of pop out, back in, and you softly land on the structure that they're waiting on to leap over the alleyway. Give me a stealth check as you land.
10.
10. The noise startles the person 30 feet in front of you. He turns around, sees you, and loses their footing, slips, and you watch as they fall over the edge.
How far is that they're falling?
Well, you're 30 feet away from where you just saw them fall.
Okay. I'm going to try to run over to that ledge. And see
you run over to the edge. You stop. You kind of skid to a stop. You look down. They had fallen on an exposed area of the spire cliffside. And you could see that they bounced off a couple rocks on the way down, and they're kind of like just tattered remains of their body are spread across those rocks.
Oh, so he's dead.
He's in pieces.
I will slowly try to climb down towards.
Wait, you went after the woman, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, she's dead. Sorry.
She's dead. Okay.
Yeah. You can see her exposed cloak, her female form. Her torso is kind of split open and shredded across the rocks. Arm over here, leg over there. You don't think she's still alive.
All right, I'd like to try to climb down to investigate this body to see if there's anything on it.
Yeah, give me athletics or acrobatics. Your choice as you scale down towards where she is.
Acrobatics for sure. 9.
9.
Oh,
You kind of slide down the last 30 feet to the rocks, kind of shredding your hands, and it's a jarring landing. As you land, take 12 points of falling damage, if you would, please.
But I have wings.
Well, unfortunately, they went away.
All right.
You kind of like recover. You look around. Parts of her everywhere. You kind of leap over onto the rocks. Give me investigation as you start checking what's left of her.
Man, these new dice stink. That is a 2.
A 2? Yeah, she's
Yeah,
rough.
yeah.
Yeah, she's rough. There's not much left. It's a pretty horrific sight. Whatever was on her may have bounced and went further down into the rocks down off the spire. There's just not much left to find. Born, you scale up towards the patio, correct?
That was the plan. Yep.
Yeah. Did I have you roll yet?
Not yet.
Give me an acrobatics check, if you would. Or athletics, your choice, either or.
Every time. 6.
6. You start scaling up, and you get like halfway over onto the balcony that's only about 12 feet up from the the surface of the street where you were.
Mhm.
Just as you scale over it, you hear a large crack, like a loud cracking noise as the base of the balcony gives way, and you kind of like, oh fuck, and you just kind of like you fall
Here we
backward.
go again.
Balcony falls with you, and boom, you kind of almost bounce, and then the balcony lands on you. Debris pile kind of scattering around you as you take 8 points of falling damage.
Always.
I see a magic rope of climbing in your future.
Right?
Slippers of spider walk in your future.
So with that, I'm like, well, he's not going to expect me to use the door, and I'm going to try and like get out of there, and then I'll try and stealth into the door at that point.
Yeah, give me a stealth check as you brush yourself off and you try going inside of the structure.
That's 13.
13.
Rough rolls today.
Yeah. As you get inside, you hear a noise through the back part of the structure, and you follow it as quietly as you can.
Mm-hmm.
As you get to the back part of the structure, there's a freshly busted open slat of wood from where a window was, and you can see scuffs and marks of someone freshly leaping out that window. And you could see some boot scuffs kind of leading down towards into some more structures.
Yeah, I'm following for sure.
You, as you leap through, give me a con save, if you would, please.
Not terrible. 13.
13. As you leap through, a glyph etched into the remains of the window frame goes off. You feel lightning kind of rock across your form as you take 21 points of lightning damage, halved to 10 because you did save. And then you land on the other side.
Yep. Oh, I'm gonna kill this son of a.
you just gotta pick yourself up and you start running.
I'm getting my pistol out now at this point because it's just one of those like I'm gonna take this guy's leg out first the next time I see him. So.
Yeah, so you start continuing the pursuit through the structures. Trauma, as you enter into the mining tunnel, you hear a dwarven voice. Hey, you there? Where do you think you're fucking going? You and the other haulers are up front. Get back to work.
Joe just like pays absolutely no mind, just keeps charging after. Can I investigate and see if I notice any other like torn bits of clothing for the guy I was chasing? Or
yeah, give me an investigation check as you're running. Hey, where are you going?
I don't really have.
That always so broken.
Investigation +0. Okay, I don't really have like 5-fingered hands, but I do my best with my little. Damn it. That's actually a really good roll. I was hoping I would fail this. That's a 19.
For what? For what?
For investigation.
Yeah. You could see another piece of torn clothing. You could also see some fresh blood where they had cut their hand on something. An ore cart goes by you filled with dwarven miners that go right by you. It's reasonably fresh. It looks like you're on the right trail. You just need to keep going deeper into the mine.
All right. John's gonna do that.
Okay.
How close is the dwarven foreman that's yelling at me?
You've already ran past him and left him in the dust.
Okay. I was gonna fuck with him if he was still within arm's reach, but now I'm just gonna run past.
Yeah, you're in a hurry. You go right by him. He's like, "Hey, get back here! Get back to work!" And an ore cart goes by you. There's an ore cart coming up, filled with rock that goes right by you as well. That's when you realize that there's multiple tracks here. And there's multiple ore carts like coming and going the deeper into the mine that you get. You begin to look around. It's dark in here. Just mostly kind of like magical lamplight because of the possibility of gas explosion. So they're not allowed to use open flame down here. So you can see all these magical crystals sitting inside of lamps that are kind of keeping the place kind of lit. And that's when you see it, the beginnings of a silver ore vein. And now you can hear the picks, the hammers. it's a busy kind of mining environment that you're now in. You can see metal buckets going up and down. You can see platforms of people shifting around the sides of the walls. Chutes of leather where rocks are being funneled into ore carts. A nearby dwarf kind of sees you looking around. I don't know what the fuck you're doing down here, but somebody just came running by here not more than a couple minutes ago. If you're looking for them, keep going further. If they don't get squished first.
Chapman actually wants to kind of pay this guy back up. He was working on an ore vein, right?
Yeah, he was just mining it and filling a bucket and taking it over to a cart.
Okay. If I'm able to, I want to run past the vein he was working on and just use my momentum and my strength and just smack it with one of my flails to see if I can knock loose.
Yeah, give me a strength check. Give me a strength check as you do that.
Nope. I get into kitty. Oh, that's a nat 20.
Nat 20. You just swing the flail as you're running by, like, thank you. You slam it into the vein. It ruptures all around you. And you just hear like all these giddy dwarfs just like, holy shit, that's like a big dwarf. You know, they start running over to the ore piles. It's just like draining away from the fracture of rock that you just hit. Get further into the mine. You look up on like a long chain with a bucket, and you can see a figure climbing the chain. They're about 40 feet above you, and they're climbing the chain to try to get up into the reinforcement rafters of the mine. And it looks like it might be an air shaft because there's light. There's like natural light coming through it. You get the feeling they're trying to escape up this air shaft. They're about 40 feet above you at this point, just hauling themselves up a chain.
Is there anything that looks like it'll support my weight? Or I know you said it's a mine shaft. Is it like a relatively rough rock base that I'd be able to dig my claws in?
You could certainly try, yeah.
All right. What is it?
Athletics or acrobatics, your choice as you start to scale up the rock.
It's got to be athletics for me. So, all right. 23.
Okay. You're scaling up the side of it, trying to catch up to the person. Unfortunately, you're not very quiet. So they look down. They see you scaling. They kind of pick up their own pace. They start scaling the chain a little bit faster. You're like scaling a little bit faster towards them. So with that, Karina and Melody, you're heading off to the Saffron Sun Imports. Is that where you're heading to first?
Do we want to pawn the diamond first? So
yeah. Yeah, agreed. Let's try and do that first so we have a little...
The worms horde?
Hmm.
Gotcha. You find the worms horde, and it's a very busy kind of precious metal, geodes and rocks and gems, and it's kind of a rough workshop in the front where people are using roughly hewn tools to kind of crack open the precious rock to get to the good stuff. You can see a female gnome is kind of directing different people as they work. She's got an eye loop on when she kind of looks up and sees the two of you come into her shop. Oh, hello. My name's Cassius. What can I do for you?
Hi, my name's Melody. Really nice.
God, you're so pretty. My eyes hurt. And her hand is like a glove with like lots of rock and dust on it. And she's like, yep, pleasure to meet you. Hello. What can Cassius do for you?
Cassius, I have a diamond that a friend gifted me, and I'm open to sell it. I'm wondering if it's something you'd be interested in.
I buy all sorts of gems, jewels, and other things. Allow me to take a peek at it.
I'll pull it up.
She takes it from your hand and she holds it up to the loop, and she kind of like sets it down on a little piece of fabric in front of her. You know what this is, right?
I do.
Okay. Well, she looks around. Technically, we're not allowed to trade in these. They kind of have to go through a certain organization. But since you said it was a gift, there are rules that get us around that problem. Here's the thing. The way it's cut and designed for, I would have to resell it to somebody else. So I'm not going to make quite as much money on what I'm offering. You get my meaning? This is not something you put in a piece of jewelry. This is something you sell to someone that understands what this gem is for. Should I have to go sell it and do all the arrangements, but I can give you 700 gold for it.
Totally appreciate that and understand what you're selling. I know it's tricky with things like this, but it was all legitimate. I received this as a gift, and I don't think you should have any problem reselling it. So I would say 850. Is that fair?
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay.
Does your aura give you any advantages or anything?
So the way it works is that any roll below a 10 becomes a 10.
Gotcha. I love those rules. Those are fun.
Pretty sweet. All right.
Those are showing up more and more in the 2024 characters.
Okay.
So this is some really good bargaining. This is somebody who's done this in real life.
Well, that's a 2, which becomes a 10. So that is, and I'll use my inspiration.
Okay.
Since this feels a little important, which was a D6. So that's 2 as well. Okay, so that's an 18 in total.
She kind of bites on her thumb for a bit, stares at the gem, stares at you. Oh, fuck it. I could easily. Okay, yeah, I'll do it. She goes underneath her work desk and pulls out a small metal coin box and gives you 85 platinum pieces.
Okay. And that comes out to 850. Is it 10 platinum per? Okay.
It's 10 gold per platinum.
Okay. Thank you. Oh my gosh, so good doing business with you.
Thank you.
Totally
If you ever come across any gems or pieces of jewelry, come find me over here at the Worm's Hoard.
Yeah,
Happy
totally.
to do business with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Are you sure you're not a changeling?
I think
You kind of
really nice to people and super friendly, then they help you out.
That is a really evil form of manipulation. I appreciate it.
All right, so now we have some money to go spend at the Saffron Sun Imports.
Yeah. What did you think about the other place as well? The one with the chemicals?
Yeah, I'm curious what you think. I feel like if they can't find anyone to buy it, I don't know if we could either. But, maybe there's a market for this stuff, and then we would know who was selling it.
Yeah, maybe we can start with the saffron, and if we have any left over, I wouldn't mind getting just a little bit to see if we can learn a little bit more about the trade of it.
Yeah, I'd be curious to buy a little bit, depending on the cost, and that might be enough to attract people.
Sounds like a plan.
Are you also planning on going to the Chalice as well?
Yeah, to get some booze.
Yeah.
I see. My only concern is the bureaucracy that goes into having a bar.
No, this is all going to be very low key. This is just like, hey, if you're in here and you're shopping, do you
Okay,
want
but if a health inspector visits us, I'm not talking to him. You guys can deal with that.
Don't even worry about it. I'm great with health inspectors.
You guys make it over to the Saffron location, the Saffron Sun Imports. There's a very obvious Chandei Quorum official there. He's kind of tall, thin, wiry glasses. He's got a journal in the crook of his arm as he's taking notes, taking inventory. You just kind of hear him muttering to himself, I don't know how I'm going to get rid of all this. Why is this my problem? Why didn't this man have a family to leave this to? This is a disaster, and I don't know what... Oh, hello, ladies. Sorry. I was... this is not quite my specialty. I'm a bit more of a perfunctionary that does simple accounting and bookwork. I've been tasked with unloading all of these goods, and to be honest with you, I don't quite know how to get started with it.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Yes.
Man,
Well, it's all spices, silks, and perfumes from the Hellcatch, from the Panagrip Sands. Some of it comes from the distilleries of Amon, as well as the port city of Nicodranus. I've cataloged it all and all the inventory of it. I just have to be honest. The man that used to sell this stuff was the only purveyor of this stuff. His shop has been in the process of being liquidated, and his goods have to go. Let me guess. The two of you are interested in buying everything, aren't you?
I mean, it's not why we came here. We
Oh.
actually were,
Well, that's a shame. Well, then go away. He goes back to doing inventory. And,
but we are kind of.
yes, you're still here. Does that mean you're buying? You're buying, I'm selling.
Yeah, we'd be curious to take a look. What do you got?
Well, spices, silks, and perfumes of various
Can we go-
degrees of quality. Yeah.
Go inside and look.
Yeah, you go inside and it's like, it's first the smell of the spices hit you as you walk through these like 20 different colored piles of spices all around you. And then all the bolts of cloth neatly stacked within the area. And then all these crates marked from all these different regions across Exandria, different qualities of perfume sold to the nobility. There could be thousands of gold worth of stuff here.
Ooh.
Man, that's rough. I really don't know what you're gonna do with all this stuff. Who
Oh.
would even want to buy this?
Well,
You and your friend, of course.
This stuff seems pretty tough to unload. It's kind of like niche.
It's
stuff.
so specialty. I mean, I've got a contact up in the Lantern Spire, but she hasn't really come through. And then I was talking to maybe do some donations to the families that suffered from the Ember Spire fire. Man. You're right. It's super niche. Maybe the Lantern Spire would be a great place to sell it all, but the Vale and some of the other shops up there, I've already kind of put out some notion to, and they don't seem interested.
What do you think like we could sell some of this stuff? I know you've got a better eye for this stuff than me.
Oh, man, I don't know. I mean, it's not really in right now, people are kind of over this whole scene. But
there's a scene wrapped around this. There's like a fad, a trend.
Yeah, stuff from the health, exotic spices, so to speak. People kind of get into it, then they get out of it.
I don't really know what to say to that. Just makes my job look even more horrific.
Well, I mean,
tell you what I'll do then. The two of you seem like smart, capable people. I'll sell the whole fucking lot to you for 500 gold. Just tell me where to ship it. I'll have wagons here. I'll have one of the Chandei custodians take it to wherever you need it to go. I just want to be off. I want to be done with this shit.
What do you say, Melody? I mean, it will kind of take over our month, but I guess we don't have that much going this month.
Yeah, honestly, like 500 is a little steep, but I think that's fair. And honestly, I'd be happy to take it off your hands. I can tell this is a lot of work to go through.
Excellent. He takes the 50 platinum from you. He turns the journal around with the list of all the inventory of everything. Just sign here, if you would, please.
Signing legal ads.
He watches Melody, signs it. Good. Yeah. Now sign here. Good. Sign here. Here. Yeah. Good. Okay. This is your copy. This is mine.
I'm gonna read these contracts. Does it all seem legit?
Yeah,
So
for the most part, it's super simple. It just feels like purely transactional. Nothing really kind of odd. Okay. So where do I ship it all to? Because obviously you can't carry it all now. Well, if you like, I could close up the shop, give you the key, and then you and your friends can come at your leisure to take what you need.
You can ship it.
Just be aware, you got to be out of this space by the end of the week, though.
We don't want to try telling this little bastard to stop hopping on top of my PC. Maybe he'll listen to you guys. He hasn't listened to me.
What are we calling our shop again?
I guess spicy.
The Prancing Centaur?
Yes.
All right. You can ship it to the Prancing Centaur. It's down at the end of the Fate Walk Bridge.
Oh, Okay, shouldn't be too hard to find. You have a sign out and everything, so my people know where to go.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
Do we?
Tell you what, well, we'll have
As
it.
soon as Melody gets home.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get the custodians down here, and we'll have it all shipped over there by tomorrow afternoon. That work for you?
Sounds perfect.
Awesome. He just kind of like, this is great. He closes his copy of the journal. He immediately goes over to one of the Chandei Quorum assistants, starts making the preparation, and they just kind of go start doing their own thing.
All right. This is gonna be so cute. Melody's like wants to dig into all the goods.
So while the two of you are in the Airy Spire doing, you're continuing. Where do you guys go after this? Are you going to the Chalice next?
To the is that the one that sells the chemicals, the explosive chemicals?
No, supposedly there's an airship that is docked in the Airy Spire at Ramp 3 that was supposed to offload and sell a bunch of chemicals to somebody in the Ember Spire, but they never collected. So Corin was saying maybe if you could find the owner of that product, they might cut you a deal. Otherwise, there's Ember Brew's supplier at the Laughing Chalice, where he would normally get all of his booze to run his inn tavern.
If we can do both, I mean, even if we can't buy both, maybe we can set up some feelers.
Yeah.
Which one are you going to first? The Laughing Chalice, or try to find the ship?
Probably ship first, Chalice last, right?
Okay.
More.
You guys start heading towards the dock ramps with the 6 or 7 airships that are tethered out there, which is always a sight. The size of this place is pretty amazing as you guys start heading up towards the ships. Eritrea, you've give me another give me in perception or investigation as you kind of pick over the remains of this person, hoping to find something.
Going back to my old dice.
Okay.
11.
11?
Still not great.
The only thing that you find that may have some value is the part of the physical remains of the person has an Ivory Syndicate tattoo on their arm, because you've seen it before, so you know what it looks like. So this person definitely works for the Ivory Syndicate.
Okay.
Anything else you'd like to do, or are you gonna try and head back or continue?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to head back, see if I can make my way back and meet up with Lauren and Trauma.
Okay. You kind of gather yourself together. You see where the gondolas are coming and going. And you start to plot a course back through the alleyways, back towards that gondola landing point.
It's definitely not your dice. It's our lore night rolls.
Yeah,
it's our lore nights. Anytime we have a lore night, we can't roll.
Yeah.
We just can't fucking win.
We can't, man.
Storyteller, what an
It's
ass.
a conspiracy to get me to buy more dice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what big dice want you to do.
I mean, right now, I'll be honest. I retired my. I'm not using my murder dice for this one for events. So I'm using Gay Dice Set 2.0, and it's been going really well. Yeah.
So with that, Lauren, you continue to race after this person that's trying to get away from you. You could hear their flat footsteps. You could hear their echoes as it's guiding you in between the different buildings. Give me a deck save, if you would, please, for it.
Okay. That's 8.
8. You feel these sharp pains coming up through your boots and into your feet and legs as you realize you just ran through some caltrops that were thrown on the ground in front of you as you take 9 points of piercing damage from the caltrops.
Can I see this person now?
No, you can hear them. You're close, but you can't see them yet. They're fast.
All right. I'm going to, while I'm running, I'm going to try and cure wounds myself.
Okay, you're like, you got to slam yourself with some cure
At least to get the caltrops out of my feet.
Yeah.
All right. D8 plus 4. I'll take that.
Are you continuing at that same pace?
Yeah.
Because while you're trying to catch up to him, it does leave you at a disadvantage. This guy seems to be leaving little traps behind to kind of, slow you down.
I am, but so I'm like, as soon as I get within sight of them, I'm going to use Zephyr Strike and try and take a shot at them.
Okay.
So my urgency is trying to get just as like if I get around a corner where I can still like my gun's out, I'm ready to go. As soon as I hit a corner where I can get an angle, I'm taking a shot.
Give me a survival check with advantage because the caltrops are definitely helping you chase this person. You know that they're in this direction.
At least I'm actually watching out for them now. Okay. Survive 11.
11.
Oh.
You come to a point where you can either go right or left. And with the way that the echoes are bouncing off the building, it's hard to tell which way to go.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to...
Hello.
I'm going to...
This was muted.
All right, real quick, I'm going to pop the round out of one of my shots and just fire blank into the air.
Okay, just
Like I'm gonna take the bullet part out and just fire the powder.
okay.
Bang!
Bang! The echo reverberates. Air
And
Trio, on your journey back towards the gondola platform, you just heard a gunshot, and it sounded like Thorn's pistol.
And I'm
Maybe
gonna kind of
in the northerly path into the buildings that he went to, your alleyways kind of cut and take you in the direction that he is. You can hear the echo of the gunshot reverberating through the alleyway.
after I do that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I was going to try to race towards the sound.
Boom! You start running towards that sound as best you can. Go ahead, Thorn.
Okay, I'm gonna stop now and I'm gonna focus intently on like once the reverberation stops, focus intently on if I hear movement now.
Give me a perception check
and then
as you're
take off in that
specifically
direction.
listening for movement.
God. 11. I didn't roll in the last five rolls. I didn't roll above like a 7.
I know.
God, it's terrible.
It's no good.
It's the Lordite rolls.
Yeah, you're frozen. You're frozen with indecision. You're trying to figure it out. You don't hear anything. Then you hear gradual footsteps behind you. And out of a cut of the alleyway around a building corner, you see Air Trio come running around, heading towards you.
Go that way, and I'm gonna run the other direction. And so I'm just
run the
like,
direction.
Okay.
So
Thorn goes
I go
right,
to
Air
the right.
Trio-
Yeah.
Yeah, Air Trio, you go left. Trauma. You are scaling this cliff face up into the air shaft. The other person is panicking and like pulling at the chain, trying to keep going as fast as they can. You're almost dead even with them, but they're a good 20 feet out in the middle of the open space, and you're on the cliff face. What would you like to try to do?
Let me check a thing. I just want to see what can I do that? Pretty sure I can. All right. Can I get out there? You're not the main screen. Can I basically I know we're not in initiative, but can I basically dash upwards? Just try to do like try to get maybe 15 feet above where 15 feet above where he'd be, and then try to launch myself over to the chain.
Yeah, give me an athletics check since you pick up the pace, start going faster, and try to get above the person so you can leap over on the bucket.
That's a crit fail.
Natural one.
Not one. It's a 7 with
Well,
bonus, but yeah.
So
Crit fail,
as
guys.
you make it up into the air shaft, you're 15 feet above the person, but as you take your heavy kind of like claw flail thing and dig it into the rock, the entire rock splits apart that you dig into, and you're now falling backwards in the air. You tumble over backwards and you're free falling. You can see the halfling face pull back their cloak and kind of smiling as you're plummeting and falling, nothing around you. And then as you fall 70 feet towards the ground, that's where we're going to finish tonight. And we'll come back next week.
All day getting us more than anything else.
This fall damage could actually literally kill a Traumatod. So we'll have to see what we roll next week. I love it when you guys split the party. I know most DMs don't like it. I love it because I love watching everybody like do things and like react. I like how Karina and Melody are off shopping and you guys are just pursuing a lead that's turned into a nightmare. You know, it's just such a typical day out.
It is cool, like getting to have different interactions with different people, like one-on-one, or like Trauma, Foreign, and Air Trio haven't had that dynamic, I don't think, or maybe in the way beginning we did, but it's kind of nice to shuffle it up.
Yeah, it is. All right, you guys, hang out. We'll talk about the schedule because we have the holidays coming up. So linger a bit. Everyone else out there, be kind, be safe, and don't forget, play a game. We'll see you guys all next Sunday. Good night, everybody.
Good night.